Well, this is mental. As it stands, Southampton have been kicked out of the playoffs because of Spygate. So I thought in this video I'd go through and rebuild the Saints side for next season, assuming that they are in the Championship. But I think firstly I have to discuss the current Spygate situation and what is currently going on, because as it stands, Saints have been kicked out of the playoffs and next season they will have a 4 points deduction. I'm a bit surprised it was this harsh, but at the end of the day, if they're broken rules and they deserve this punishment, then that's what should happen to Southampton. And it has been proven that they're spied on Middlesbrough, Ipswich and Oxford, and there's a chance they've also obviously spied on more sides, and they've admitted to spying on all three of those sides. And what's ironic for Saints is the fact they actually failed to win all three of those games that it's been confirmed they spied on, including that Oxford game where they lost 2-1. So clearly in those games it didn't make a huge difference. Now, Saints fans will probably be annoyed with this ruling, considering Leeds just got a fine. But rules were brought in after this to stop this happening, and now Southampton have broken this rule once again. Who would I be directing my frustration at if I was a Southampton fan? I'd be directing my frustration at the club, because it's their fault and it's just so disappointing for those Saints fans who have travelled home and away, but now every single game was irrelevant because of the Spygate situation. Not to mention the players who haven't done anything wrong and now they won't have a chance to play in the Premier League next season. And also from a financial side of the players, their wages will still be Championship wages and not Premier League wages, so they won't have the wage increase for going up, and they won't be earning any promotion bonus because of this. As well as this will also impact the staff who had no involvement in the Spygate case. For example, just a simple cook that Southampton have. Now let's look at the manager, Tonda Eckert. So there's no doubt that Tonda Eckert has done a great job with Saints in terms of results, with a 21-game unbeaten run. But how much influence did spying impact the results? Well, based off the results we've seen so far, which has been confirmed that they did spy it, not a lot, but I suspect that Southampton have spied at many more games. And I wouldn't be surprised if they spied at every game since Tonda Eckert took charge as manager. And can Southampton really afford to keep someone like Eckert in charge who's taken responsibility for this? This has been confirmed now. Now, there is a chance it was someone else, but he's taken the hit. But that does look unlikely considering that the spy was part of Tonda Eckert's staff. And I'm not blaming the spy. I actually feel quite bad for him because he's just a young intern. Of course, he was going to follow what he was told to do. He wasn't even fully employed by Southampton. Now, there's also a chance that Eckert could actually be banned from managing, as we saw this happen at the Olympics. The Canadian woman manager was caught spying on the opponents, who was the New Zealand women's side, and this resulted in a year ban for the manager. So could this happen with Tonda Eckert? So it looks like there's actually quite a big chance that Tonda Eckert does get sacked or banned. Now, there is a chance that this changes with an appeal from Southampton, but that does look unlikely right now. So let's get into it, keeping South Saints in the Championship. And I think what's worth mentioning is that some players may not want to stay at Southampton as they've probably felt cheated by the club, and some players may be reluctant to sign because of this, and there could be a situation where a rule has been broken in the Southampton players' contracts. So the Saints players could potentially take legal action against the club. This has also been reported in the last sort of 5 hours as of recording. So anyway, looking at the players, if they would stay or go, let's start off with Aaron Ramsdale, who's actually on loan right now at Newcastle. I think Newcastle have an option to buy him for about £20 million. I'm not sure if this will happen, but I think either way, Ramsdale will leave the club if Southampton are in the Championship next season, which is what it's currently standing. So for that reason, I'm going to put Ramsdale in the sell. Then we're on to the next keeper, and it's Lucas Perez. He's been excellent since coming in on loan from Bayern Munich, and I'm pretty sure it was a mandatory fee of around €6 million if Saints went up. Right now, it looks like Saints aren't going up unless, of course, the illegal process changes. But Southampton still have the option to make this deal permanent. But I don't think Lucas Perez will want to sign for Southampton in the Championship. I think he'll think to himself, I can get a better move now because he's been so good. So for that reason, I'm going to put him in the end loan category. If you can get Lucas Perez in the Championship, that'd be a standout signing, because he's been so good in goal for Southampton. Then I'm on to McCarthy. I'd just be looking to release McCarthy. At this point, I don't think he's really good enough to be part of the Southampton squad, and he was dropped as the number one. Maybe you keep him around as like a third choice keeper, but I don't know if he'll be willing to do that. Then I'm on to George Long. I'd just be looking to keep George Long as a third choice keeper. He's out of contract, so he may decide to leave, but if he's willing to do it, just keep him around as a third choice. So then I'm on to the right backs, and starting off with James Bree. James Bree is currently out of contract with Southampton, but Southampton need to look to renew his deal, and I think he will stay at Southampton. I'm going to put him in the keep. I can't really see a Premier League side going in for James Bree. He's been very good this season, but I'm not sure if he's quite at that level yet. But on a free, some sides may be interested. Then I'm on to the next right back, and it is Gillert. Gillert's been on loan from Galatasaray this season. He hasn't featured a huge amount. I'd just be looking to end the loan for him, so I'm going to put him in this bottom category. Then I'm on to Roslaw, who signed from Brentford in the summer. Unfortunately for him, he picked up an injury which resulted in missing a lot of games this season. I'd still keep him around probably as the backup right back for next season. I still think he's a good player at Championship level. Then I'm on to Sugawara. Sugawara has been on loan in Germany this season at Werder Bremen. Werder Bremen have an option to buy, so he may end up signing for Werder Bremen in the summer, but he could also end up signing for someone else if they don't want to activate that option. What would I be doing with Sugawara? I think he's going to depart the club in the summer, so I'm going to put him in the sell category. There is a chance he stays as a right-back option, but if I'm already keeping James Bree and Roslaw, there's no real point of keeping another backup right-back around. So I'm on to the centre-halves, and starting off with Howard Ballas. I think Howard Ballas is almost guaranteed to leave Southampton in the summer if they remain in the Championship. So I'm going to put him in the sell. If you can keep him around, obviously you would. Then I'm on to Jack Stevens. He's actually been pretty good for Southampton this season as a centre-half. I'd be keeping him around for the following season. I don't see him leaving. So I'm on to the young German centre-half, Joshua Kwashi, and he hasn't played a lot this season. I think what I'd do with him is I'd probably just keep him as a fourth choice centre-half for Saints for next season. Maybe you could load him out for his development, but I think I'd just keep him, so that's what I'm going to do. Then I'm on to the next centre-half, and it is Nathan Wood. I was really impressed with Wood across the two legs against Borough, and he's a good option for Southampton next season. I'm going to put Nathan Wood into the keep. Then I'm on to the left backs, and starting off with Ryan Manning. Ryan Manning's been brilliant in the Championship this season, especially in the second half of the season. So for that reason, I'm going to put Ryan Manning into keep. I mean, there's a chance he does leave Southampton in the summer, but I think he does stay. Then on to the next player, and it is Wellington. I'm going to keep Wellington as a backup left back. I think he's a decent left back, so I'm going to put him in the keep. Then I'm on to the midfielders, and starting off with Shea Charles. I think Shea Charles will leave Southampton at the end of the season. I think he's too good for Southampton and the Championship, so for that reason, I'm going to put him in to the sell. Then I'm on to Flynn Downs. I do like Flynn Downs as a player. I think he's a good Championship midfielder. I don't think he'll get a move in the summer, so for that reason, I'm going to put Flynn Downs in the keep. Then I'm on to Romeo. Romeo is out of contract in the summer, and I wouldn't be looking to renew his deal. I'm going to put him in to the release. Then I'm on to the next player, and it is Kasper Yander. I'm 100% looking to keep Kasper Yander around. I think he's been very good once again in the second half of the season for Southampton, and I'm going to put Yander in the keep. I don't see him getting a Premier League move. And then finally, I've got Cameron Bragg. I'm going to keep Cameron Bragg around as a squad option in midfield for the following season. So I'm on to Will Smallbone. Will Smallbone's been on loan at Millwall this season. What would I be looking to do with Smallbone? I'd be looking to sell him. Clearly Southampton don't rate him enough, so I think it's clear you're better off just letting him go. Could you keep him around as a squad option in midfield? Maybe, but I think they can get better than Smallbone. Then I'm on to Finazaz. I think Finazaz has had a good season at Southampton, a very good season in terms of numbers, and for this reason I'm 100% keeping Finazaz around. Once again, I think he's a very good championship player, but I don't think he's a Premier League player, so I don't see too much interest in him in the summer. Then I'm on to the attackers, and starting off with Leo Cienza. Leo Cienza has been Southampton's best player this season. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get a move in the summer. I'm going to put him into the sell. I think he's probably destined to leave Saints to sell one better. Then I'm on to Tommy Fallows. I'm going to put Fallows in the keep. I think first half of the season he struggled, but that was understandable because he was being asked to play as a wing-back. But throughout, I think he has improved as a player. He still hasn't scored for Southampton, but he has created quite a few chances. I'm going to put Fallows in the keep. Then I'm on to Samuel Edozie. I'm going to be keeping Edozie around as a squad option for Southampton next season. He's clearly a talented player. Then I'm on to Matasuki. He can play out wide and also in the 10. I'll be keeping Matasuki around at Southampton for the following season, so I'm going to put him into the keep. Then I'm on to Brenton Diaz, been on loan at Derby this season. Can't see him staying at Southampton, so I'm going to put him in the sell. Then I'm on to the strikers, and starting off with Ross Stewart. When Ross Stewart's at his best, he's a very good player, but he has had some injury problems this season and he is out of contract in the summer. I would be looking to keep Ross Stewart around, as when he's fit, he's still a very good option. So I'm going to put Ross Stewart in the keep. Then I'm on to Larin. I've been impressed with him since he's come in for Southampton in January on loan, and they've got a £3 million option. I look to activate this as I think it's a player worth keeping for Southampton next season. Then I'm on to Cameron Archer. I would be looking to sell Cameron Archer. He hasn't been good enough for Southampton this season, and I think Ross Stewart and Carl Larin are two better options. So for that reason, I'm going to put him in the sell. And then finally, I've got Damien Downs. He's struggled so far for Southampton, and that actually resulted in him going on loan to Hamburg in January, where he failed to register any goals and assists. I would look to sell Damien Downs. You could look to loan him out because there's a reason Southampton paid about £6 million for him, but I think if possible, I'd just be looking to sell him and cut ties with them. So now let's go through a potential lineup for Southampton next season. So straight away, Southampton would need to buy a keeper if Peretz and Ramsdale both leave. Then onto the right back, if they can renew James Bree, I think he's good enough for them to start at right back next season. He's a very good player. Then onto the centre halves, and you're going to have to replace Harwood Ballas. You could start Nathan Wood, but I'd be looking to buy, if possible, a top championship centre-half to go next to Stevens. You could also start Nathan Wood ahead of Stevens because Nathan Wood has been good for Southampton this season. And then at left-back, I've got Ryan Manning, who's been a standout player for Saints this season. Then I'm on to the double pivot where I've got Casper Yander and Flynn Downs. I wouldn't be looking to purchase a starting midfielders. I think Yander and Downs are both good enough to start for Southampton. But if you do want to buy a replacement for Shea Charles that's a starter, then that is something to consider. Then moving up the pitch, Southampton need to buy a replacement for Leo Cienza. In the 10, I've got Finazaz, and then on the right wing, I've got Tommy Fallows. I think Fallows is good enough to start for Southampton. Once again, you could improve this right winger position if you want to. And then up front, I've got Ross Stewart, but I'd actually be looking to buy a starting striker next season, because Ross Stewart is injury prone. Another option is Carl Larin, but I've got him in the second side instead of the first team. Now let's look at this depth squad or the second team. So in goal, once again, Southampton need to go purchase a backup keeper because most likely Peretz and Ramsdale will not stay at the club. Then for the back four, I've got Rawslaw, Kwashi, Woods and Wellington. You could look to buy a centre-half and then send Kwashi out on loan, but I think that would sort of be a waste of funds to do that. Then moving up the pitch, I've got Cameron Bragg, and I think that Saints need to go and purchase a midfielder that can compete with Casper Yander and Flynn Downs for a starting spot next season. And then into the 10, I think Saints need to go by a backup for Finn Azaz. You could use Matusuki as that backup, but I've got him instead as right wing depth. And then on the left wing, I've also got Samuel Adozie. And then up front, I've got Carl Laren. I think that's very good depth for Saints for next season, and this depth has been crucial for them in this season. So that is the end of the video, and usually at this point in the video, I go through and discuss basically what I think Southampton will achieve next season, but right now I've got no clue, because they may well have a 4-point deduction. There's a chance it could be increased if more evidence comes about Southampton spying on other sides. And if Southampton's appeal is successful, there's a chance they go up through the playoffs. So honestly, I'm not sure what to expect from Southampton next season. If they keep a decent chunk of the squad, then I expect them to be challenging for promotion next season, because I think that Southampton have some quality players and a good manager if he stays in Tonda Eckert, and I don't think the points deduction is going to cause them too many problems. So let me know your thoughts on this, whether you agree, whether you disagree, and if you enjoy this video, it'd be great if you subscribe to this channel as well as liking the video.